I'm Dr. David Thomas. I'm a practicing psychotherapist with the Whitford Thomas Group in Tampa, Florida, here to discuss the symptoms of anxiety. When we talk about anxiety, before we kind of go into the symptoms, let's look at what creates anxiety. I think many people believe that external events create the anxiety. But interestingly, the perpetrator is ourselves. It's our thinking that more directly influences anxiety symptoms. We use, in my office, cognitive behavior psychotherapy as an approach to help people to challenge and dispute the thinking that drives the anxiety. When we look at the thinking that drives the anxiety, we really want to look at the tendency for individuals to look into the future. You cannot experience anxiety in the present. It's always in context to the future. And so we build a story in the future, we give it a bad ending, we catastrophize or awfulize about it, and then our tendency is to somehow believe we're not going to be able to cope or deal effectively with that anxiety. So thinking really drives that anxiety. Now, what are the symptoms that are oftentimes associated with the anxiety? Well, when we think about anxiety, we think about a kind of a heightened self. So the body seems to get really juiced up. So we see heart palpitations, we see perspiration, headaches, muscle aches. We tend to see behaviorally isolation, avoidance. From a thinking, feeling standpoint, we tend to have this sense of doom, that kind of the world is ending, so to speak. We don't have a sense that we're going to be able to cope effectively. Other symptoms associated with anxiety can be sleep disorders, eating issues. Some people escalate their drinking, tend to increase their drinking because alcohol, for all practical purposes, does medicate the system. So those are a lot of the symptoms associated with anxiety. But it's certainly important for you to recognize that thinking drives that. Well, hopefully this information I provided you regarding the signs and symptoms of anxiety has been helpful. From Tampa, Florida, I'm Dr. David Thomas.